So Penelope wants to talk to this random drunk beggar that showed up to her house saying that he knows something about Odysseus. Yeah, I forgot to say that when he was down there getting shit thrown at him by all the suitors, this random other drunk beggar decided to pick a fight with him. And Odysseus was like, I don't really want to fight. And the beggar was like, come on, you fucking pussy. And Odysseus was like, no one calls me a pussy! And so he just beats the fucking shit out of this beggar, like beats him almost to death. And which causes one of the suitors to be like, damn, nice. Here, other random drunk beggar, have some food. And Odysseus is like, nice, dude, thank you for giving me food. Here, I'm going to give you a tip. Odysseus is on his way back, and he's going to murder everyone in this house. So you should leave now. And the suitor's like, I would, but I really like getting drunk for free night after night. So ultimately, he's going to get murdered too. But so Penelope catches wind that there's this dude saying Odysseus is going to come back. And so she's like, I want to see this dude who's saying Odysseus is coming back. Hey, dude who's saying Odysseus is coming back. And Odysseus is like, hey, it's me. And Penelope is like, so you've seen Odysseus, huh? And Odysseus is like, yeah, I've seen Odysseus. She's like, well, what does he look like? And Odysseus is like, I'll tell you what he looks like. And he describes himself so hard that Penelope starts crying. This guy is a fucking master of saying shit to people. Also, he just really likes watching people grieve over him. So Penelope is like, alright, you've totally seen Odysseus, I believe you. You can stay here for the night. Allow me to offer you a bed. And Odysseus is like, fuck no, I don't want a bed. And then I'm gonna sleep on floor. So Penelope says, okay, well, at least let one of my servant girls wash your feet. And Odysseus is like, fine, my feet are pretty dirty. So he goes over and the servant girl starts washing his feet, and she sees a scar on his foot from back in the day when Odysseus cut his foot kicking a boar in the face. And she's like, holy shit, you're Odysseus! And Odysseus is like, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to fucking be stealthy and kill all these suitors. And the servant girl is like, alright, okay. So Odysseus spends the night, and while he's getting ready to go to sleep, Penelope runs into the room like, I'm so sad because Odysseus isn't here. But I'm going to marry someone tomorrow, which is when Telemachus is going to grow facial hair. But I'm only going to marry a guy who can string Odysseus' bow and then fire an arrow through 16 axes lined up in a row, which is something that Odysseus used to do back in the day for fun. I don't know how they landed on the number of 16 exactly. Like, Odysseus took an axe and he shot an arrow through it and he was like, that's not enough axes, and then he put another one all the way up to 16, but he can't shoot it through 17 axes. That's the vibe I'm getting. It's like, if you put 17 axes in a row, that's just too much. But anyway, the next day, they all go down, they're all the suitors are eating, Odysseus is eating, and Athena keeps provoking the suitors to yell insults at Odysseus so that his rage will continue to bubble within him throughout the entire meal. And then Penelope comes in and is like, hey guys, shoot through these axes. And all the suitors are like, we can shoot through the axes. They can't even string Odysseus' bow. They're all sitting there like, And so Odysseus steps up and is like, I'll do it. And they're like, you're so fucking drunk, man. And Odysseus is like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do it. So he takes the bow and he strings it and he fires the arrow through all 16 axes in a row. Perfectly. And all the suitors are like, and while they're going, Odysseus strings the bow again and shoots one of the suitors in the face. And the suitors are like, was that an accident? And Odysseus is like, fuck no, it wasn't an accident, I'm Odysseus, now I'm going to shoot arrows through all of you! And he just stands up there firing arrows through people, and Telemachus jumps up and starts sawing off people's heads with his sword, and Eurymaeus is in the back room hiding all of the weapons so that when everyone is like, oh shit, we need to get weapons, there are no weapons. There are no weapons for anyone. And then Eumaeus comes into the room with the only available weapons and just starts butchering people as well. So it's these three dudes versus a bunch of unarmed, fat, drunk dudes who have been partying for like 10 solid years. So they're just like decapitating left and right, and Athena shows up like, hey, are you guys not winning hard enough? Because I can help with that. And so she comes down and starts murdering people as well. So the fight is over in like 15 fucking seconds, and everybody is dead. The walls are covered in blood, Odysseus is covered in blood, Telemachus is covered in blood, Eumaeus is covered in blood. It's just blood. It's just Blood City. It's blood warehouse. Blood are us. There's just so much blood. The blood, I don't even know what to say at this point about the blood. It's just, anyway, Odysseus is looking around like, what the fuck am I going to do about all this blood? I know, I'll take all of the servant girls who were unfaithful during the time that all these suitors were here, and I'll have them clean up the blood. Hey, servant girls, come here, clean up the blood. And the servant girls are like, okay, we'll clean up the blood. And they clean up all the blood, and then they have to drag the bodies outside and, like, burn them. And then Odysseus is like, all right, now we're executing all of you. Telemachus, you handle that. And Telemachus is like, well, I was gonna chop off all your guys' heads as a way to execute you, but hanging you is less humane, so I'm gonna do that. So he hangs all of the servant girls out there. So now they're done. They've done everything that they came here to do. So Odysseus, covered in blood, goes up to Penelope, and he's like, hey, Penelope, I'm home! And Penelope's like, holy fuck, you're here! You're covered in blood! No, I don't believe you're Odysseus. And Telemachus is like, how dare you not welcome your husband with open arms? And she's like, first of all, I'm not sure he's my husband. Second of all, Odysseus, you just killed the sons of every noble in Ithaca. You have problems. And Odysseus is like, well, first of all, I'm totally Odysseus. And Penelope is like, oh yeah? Well then help me move my bed out of my wedding chamber. And Odysseus is like, you can't move the bed out of the wedding chamber! It's made out of the root of a tree that a house is built around! And Penelope is like, alright, I believe it's you. But what are you gonna do about all these dudes you murdered? And Odysseus is like, I'm gonna go hide out on my dad Laertes' farm for a while. Telemachus, you wanna come with me? And Telemachus is like, totally. So they go out onto the farm, they meet up with Laertes. Odysseus pretends that he's not Odysseus for a while just to watch his dad grieve. And then he's like, I'm Odysseus! And his dad is like, holy shit, you're right! And then all of the nobles whose sons Odysseus murdered show up, and they're like, I'm gonna kill all of you! And then Laertes throws a spear through one of their dicks. And then Athena comes down and is like, okay, there's so much dead people right now. Hades has got a backlog and he's giving me shit. You guys just stop. Everybody just stop. And Odysseus is like, fine, we'll just stop. And then the war is over and Odysseus gets to go home and everybody loves him again. And the moral of the story is that if you are capable of killing basically a random and infinite number of people in a row, you can be as unfaithful to your wife as you want. The end.